Man, I don't get tired of watching that. Oh man, so what's up, EJ? You ready to talk some Bears? You ready to talk some Bulls?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
All right, so what you want to get into first today, man? We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot of moves in the NFL. We got some Bulls for you. What you want to start with today?
Let's start with the Bulls because I want to say the best for last because Bulls kind of was trash this week. So
All right, I'm cool
let's
with
talk.
that.
Let's talk Bulls and then get into the Bears.
All right, I'm cool with that. So right now the headlines are Matthew Stafford. I mean, that's it's Bears related. Matthew Stafford to the Rams for a couple first rounds in golf. That's like the biggest talk since last night.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's good for us because I mean we never really had to worry about the Lions, but now we have to worry about them less unless they go out and draft, some good pieces with those first rounds that they got. But I'm not really too worried about them. They're always our little brother.
Yeah, honestly, like we do, they really ain't been that much of a threat. Like I know we complain about our squad, but the Lions, it's like when's the last time they've been relevant? So it
Facts.
is what it is with them.
Facts. But I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen now though, because I truly want some for us to get somebody good like Deshaun Watson. Me and you were just talking about it, and I don't like. Do the Bears have it in them to go pull it? Like you saw the Rams, they say I don't care about those first rounds. They're not Matthew Stafford. Can we do the same? Can we say I don't care about two first rounds, two second rounds, and two defensive players? We have a generational quarterback, a guy that's going to be on our team for the next 10 years, guaranteed, as long as we re-sign him. Like the
Yeah.
guy is great. He's already. Are they going to pull it though? Are they going to do that?
I mean, I hope so. They said that they, you know, supposed to be addressing the quarterback situation this off season, but it's like, okay, what do y'all mean when y'all say that? Like, I mean, we already know what they mean. They go, obviously, we'll have a new quarterback next year, but the question is like, okay, what are y'all willing to do to get the right guy? Because like, they have as a Bears fan, it's getting old having this conversation every single year. Who's going to be the quarterback? Who's going to be the guy going forward? It's like honestly, Deshaun Watson's unhappy where he is. Do whatever you got to do to get him. Like
Fact.
I would have been cool with Stafford, but I knew that wasn't gonna happen just for the simple fact he's in the division, and teams in the division ain't gonna. They I highly it's like darn near it'd be stupid for them to make a trade. Oh, let me trade my quarterback in the same division, so I'm playing that dude twice a year, especially when he's a good quarterback like Stafford. We got a better roster than Detroit. So if the
Right.
Lions traded Matthew Stafford to us, we whooping him twice a year. So it's
Facts.
like, nah, they weren't doing that. So then you got the Packers, Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers seemed like he is a little unhappy, and people's talking about, well, a good destination. I've heard Stephen A. Smith, I think it was Stephen A. Smith. Yeah, Stephen A. Smith from Max Kellerman saying a good destination for him could have been the Bears, but didn't see that. I don't see that happening either because
Me
same
either.
division. So it's like they whoever it's going to be somebody outside of the division,
You're
obviously,
right. You're right.
and it's like, but like my thing is like I don't really trust them to like make like a huge move like to get Deshaun Watson because it's gonna take a lot. And
You're right.
let's
You're
and
right.
let's and also it's gonna take for him to want to be there because he has no trade clause. So if he wants to be here in Chicago, then if he doesn't want to be here, he can say, "Hey, I don't want to go to Chicago. I'd rather go somewhere else." And I've heard Miami as a possibility, as well as San Francisco. Those are also two good destinations for him. But it's like I feel like, him coming here would be even better, but that's just me being biased.
Right. I mean, and we'll see. Like you said, we'll speak on it a little bit more. I just kind of wanted to address that and get that out of the way. Like you said, we want to talk Bulls, get them out of the way because man, they've been doing some childish stuff. So we'll save the best for last. But yeah, I agree with you what you're saying wholeheartedly. I just had to get that Matthew Stafford news out of me because that was just eating. Like, all right, but going on to the Bulls, man. Last week we talked about the ball movement versus the Lakers. And that's why we felt like on offense, at least, they weren't doing that good. It was the same thing against the Celtics. Like, they started off maybe the first quarter, but after the first quarter or after the first couple of plays, I saw no ball movement. Like, for example, I did have one right here where right here the ball movement was good. This is what we obviously want to see. But look at how early on in the quarter it was. First quarter, first couple of minutes.
Yep.
I promise you, I could not find no more highlights of them moving the ball like that. It's like they instantly forgot. We did it for one play, coach. We're good. Oh my God, man! It's the same thing with these guys against good teams, man.
Yeah, it's like, we get a glimmer of hope. They go and like get a 3-game winning streak. First time in like what 2 years, 3 years that they have a 3-game win streak, and they get their record closer to 500, and they drop a couple of games, and they get blown out. It's like, well, we back at square one. It's like, who are these dudes? Are these
Right.
is actually a better team? Or is this the same team we've been watching for the last couple of years when it was under Jim Boylan? So, I mean, I don't feel like it is that. I don't feel like they are the same team with Jim Boylan. I feel like they are a better squad, but they're still young and they still make mistakes. Zach LaVine, the man is like looking frustrated after every game they lose. Like, man, what do I got to do? The dude
Right.
is like, he wants to be recognized as one of the best players in the league. He wants to be on a winning team. He wants to be in the playoffs. But you ain't gonna get recognized. Your team ain't winning. You ain't gonna be an all-star. Chances are you ain't gonna be an all-star if your team win. Like, look at Bradley Beal. He puts up numbers every year. He barely gets recognized for it. Then
True.
you on a losing team, so it's like you're not gonna get recognized. Like, people notice him, but he doesn't get the recognition he deserves because we haven't done anything.
That's true.
And it's frustrating to him because he's like, he wants to get recognized as a top player. He works his butt off and he wants to be in the playoffs, but it's like we can't seem to get there because we just ain't, everything doesn't click. Defense is bad. They make a lot of stupid mental errors, lots of turnovers. Like, it's just so many mistakes that they make, and it's like at some point, it's like, dang, man, like, when are y'all gonna learn? Like, even though they're new coach, it's like they still making the same mistakes they've been making the last couple of years. It's like, what are y'all doing? And it's
Yeah.
just like, you want to be one of the top teams in your conference, you got to beat teams in your conference, and they can't. Especially the top teams, they can't beat the top teams in their conference. Like, they can
Right.
beat teams that's like at their level or
Hmm.
lower, but when you come in like the top four or five teams, they just can't beat those dudes. Like, every time they play a Bucks, it's like, do I want to watch this game because I feel like they're about to get blown out because they usually do get blown out. So it kind of sucks, man, because it's like we get this glimmer of hope, and then they just let us down.
That's true. And then just to kind of go off what you're saying with just like the lack of consistency and like the defense, all of that, and the effort. It's just like an effort just in general. Like, look at this. Elite teams don't play like this. You see Zach LaVine's just stay. And then look at the defense in transition.
Yeah,
He literally put his hand up like this. They didn't try to swat at the ball, foul him or something, make him go to the free throw line. It's not guaranteed he's gonna make the free throws. It's just simple things. And like you're saying, the Celtics are one of those top 5, top 6 teams, obviously. And they're gonna play you like that. They're not gonna play down to your level. They're gonna
yep,
make you come up to theirs.
yep,
And they don't have it in them, I don't think, because they only have one true superstar that has just becoming a superstar. Like, he wasn't always one. He didn't always have a jumper. Um, but they need to get him some help. You know, I've been stressing this out for like the last 3 weeks, and I'm hoping they hear me out somehow. Like they need some help for Zach LaVine
Yeah,
because
for real.
this dude got a jumper now. Like, check this out. We used to be able to be like, back off on Zach LaVine. He's not gonna shoot. Now he's swishing him like, and that wasn't like from the tip top or the corner. That was literally from a straight on shot. One of
Yeah,
the harder 3-pointers to shoot.
yeah.
So the guy is good now. He's legit now. Go and get him some help. I'm gonna keep stressing this every week till we go get him some help.
Please
Because
do.
the reason why you're 7-11 is because he doesn't have any help.
Yeah, honestly, it's just frustrating. For him, I know it's definitely frustrating for him because it's like, what do I got to do? Like Laurie Markkinen has played pretty decent since he came back, but Kobe White has just been up and down lately. Like whether it's like, oh, I have a game where I don't think he scored any points against Dallas one game. Then he came back the next and scored like 10. And then I think he had next game after that, he had like single digits. Like he's just been real inconsistent so far. Like he started off pretty decent, and there's like he just it's kind of like faded. He had a good game against the Blazers, but it's like, nah, man. The top three players need to be Zach LaVine, Larry Markin, and Kobe White. Those three need to be averaging. But well, Zach, Kobe, and Laurie need to be averaging like 15 to 20 points a game. Zach's gonna do his thing, but
Right.
Laurie and Kobe, they need to do something. Like honestly, y'all can't be having games where y'all score like 10 points on like 4 for 15 shooting and stuff. That don't work, man. It's
True.
like they get contributions from the bench, but it's like, nah, the starters got to do their job, man. They honestly should have their own big three. Laurie has talent, and so does Kobe. Like they show flashes, but the problem is consistency. If y'all
That's
ain't
true.
being if y'all ain't being consistent, it's like, well, like honestly, y'all ain't doing nothing. Like you ain't gonna be one of the top players. You ain't gonna be the best teams are consistent in what they do. Look at the Lakers. They're
Hmm.
consistently good on defense. So it's like it's hard for teams to score on them because every night they bring it on defense. So it's like you want to be consistently good at something, and it's like they're not consistent. Like none of the Kobe and Laurie, they're not consistent in scoring, and like just the team in general, they're just not consistent. It's like some days they look like, man, their offense is great. Then the other nights they can't stop nobody. Like
True.
the other teams are scoring like at will. It's like y'all out there? And then you got nights where everything's clicking, but it's like it's just not every night. And that's the problem with and I'm tired of saying with young teams, but they're a young team. But it's like at some point, it's like that can't be your excuse that you're a young team.
I agree.
Y'all just gotta start playing ball, man. Like, come on now. Y'all been doing this since y'all was like in freaking diapers. Like, give me a break.
No, that's true though. And I what you're saying about the teams being consistent, that's true. Like in order to be an elite team, that's basic to them. Being consistent is like, so until they show more effort, because like you saw that play that I showed, like that's a continuous thing with them. Like that's not just one game. I can literally go back to every game and find a highlight like that. And I know the coach didn't bring that mentality. That might be just something from the early growing pains. So, we'll give it till like February, or no, when is the All-Star weekend? Isn't it like late February? Or it's
Uh,
like early March?
I don't know how they're doing it this year because normally it's like the middle of February, like around Valentine's Day is usually the All-Star break. But this year, I don't know how they're doing it to be honest with you. So
Okay.
I gotta look that up. I mean, if there even is an All-Star game this year, I don't even know if there is to be honest with you.
True. True. Well, I'll give them. I think they cut the games down to what, 72 games this season.
Yeah,
So there's
72 game
probably
season.
like 60 or 50 something more. I'm gonna give them like 20, 30 more games to change the mentality from the old regime to the new guy. So we'll see what goes on with that. I do want to shout out Tempo though, because he has been consistent. And we both agree, we always talk about him before our show starts. Temple has been consistent, and this just continues. This is every week. Good effort. Look at that fake. Like the guy's older, yes, he's a vet, but he shows you how to do it every single night that he steps out there.
Yes.
And the guy is good. I love the fact that they have him. But besides that Celtics game, they did play pretty good against Portland. But Portland obviously have Damian Lillard. Like, how do you stop Damian? You know, they've tried to put Paul George on Damian, and he still hits a wet buzzer beater on him. So
Yeah.
on this loss, I don't fully give the loss to the Bulls. It was Damian Lillard being Damian Lillard. You know, we'll go through it a little bit. What were your take? What was your take on this game?
I mean, this is another game. Like they beat the Blazers early in the year in Portland, and I'm going into this game. I'm thinking, okay, y'all beat them once. Y'all should bring that same energy. Y'all at home, maybe y'all can beat them again. And at first, they looked pretty good. They got off early, but then like Portland came back. They started to get real hot, splashing threes. Took a big lead. Bulls came back, brought it back, got it close. Then they took the lead, and then it's like at the end they just blew it. And Dame just hit a nasty shot, man. It's like you were saying, man. Damian Lillard, that dude's he's on a whole nother level, man. It's like I don't care who you got on your squad. He's one of the toughest dudes in the league to guard.
Facts.
And I feel like, honestly, as good as he is, I feel like he's still a little underrated. Like, show the man some love, please. It's like, my God, like, it's like he was hitting some really tough shots. And then let me see, I think I got a couple of clips. Like, here's one of them. Like, this is one of the late shots. Like, look at that. Like, you can't guard that, man.
Yeah, and he's shooting from literally the logo. Like he's at the I and the T on the United.
Yeah, and this
Literally,
is at the end of the game. And here's the three that he hit to win the game. How do you stop that? Like, seriously, that is nasty.
Wow, what a shot! Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like the guy doesn't get enough credit. Like you're saying, the guy is absolutely great, and he's still underrated. Like, and people talk about him. You saw what he did to the Lakers back in the bubble, that first game of that bracket, like when they were facing each other to advance to the conference finals. They were going at it. He like lit it up for like 40 something points, was hitting threes from the logo. Like Damian Lillard's a stud, man. And anybody that says otherwise, I'll show you his stats. Yes, he might have a losing record in the playoffs, but like who has he had on his team? Like, be honest. It's always been him as the star. And who's the other guy? Like his second man?
CJ McCollum. Yeah.
I don't believe in McCollum. Like McCollum has flashes here and there where he has good games, but McCollum is known to disappear in the playoffs. So like last year he did decent, but not good enough. So like I said, I can't fault him for that. But like you were saying earlier, before we started the podcast, you were saying that what is true that the offense was clicking a lot better for the Bulls. It's just Damian Lillard was hotter that night. So if we can see some more consistency like that versus good teams, because I consider Portland a good team.
Oh yeah, they're a good team.
Even though they don't always make it far in the playoffs, but dude, the West is stacked.
Yes.
They have LeBron James now. They been had Steph Curry and Clay, even though Clay got hurt again. James Harden was there with Houston. So it's like, dude, they've always been known. They got Luka. Luka's a monster. Like, oh my God, I love watching Luka play.
Oh yeah.
So it's stacked over there. Like, you can't expect a team with one superstar when other teams have at least two to really do anything.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough, man, for teams in the West. But going back to the Bulls, it's like, Dame dropped 44. It's like, dude killed it. And it's like they honestly there ain't nobody. I don't care if Zach LaVine's improved on defense. You know, Patrick Williams is known for his defense. Ain't nobody on that squad able to guard him. And you know, Zach, going back to Zach, it's like the dude could use some help, man. It's like he 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 goes out there. I mean, Laurie actually had like I think Laurie scored 30 points, so Laurie had a good game. And I think Kobe dropped 20. But like I said before, none of that's consistent.
Right. They might go out tomorrow and drop 5 apiece.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's the problem. It's like they have good games, but they're not consistent with it. Zach is scoring every game. Like, you know, I think I got a clip of him like getting to the hoop here. Well, no, this isn't a clip. This is just him like just being
Ooh,
Zach.
ooh, good move.
Like just splashing. Like he has moments in the game where he just gets like hot like this. It's like you want to talk about Damian Lillard, where it's like when Zach gets on his streak, it's like he can't be stopped either.
And like, dude, I'm telling you, Zach never used to have a shot like that, bro.
No, man.
Like I think it was our first episode for the Bulls. We shot out the shooting coach for him. Like, shut him out again, because dude, like this guy is really a good shooter. Like, I know a good shooter when I see one. And Zach LaVine, like, if people don't know Zach LaVine, this man has won the dunk contest 2 or 3 times, was known as just a finisher, right?
Yep.
Comes to the Bulls because the Timberwolves thought that that's all he was going to be. They didn't really truly believe in him.
Yep.
I forgot who we even gave him. Bobby Portis. I don't even know who we gave them, to be honest. But
I think it was Jimmy Butler.
It was was it Butler? It probably was
Yeah.
Butler. I know that Portis got in a fight with somebody, and we traded him to the Wolves. But yeah, like just to wrap it up, like he comes over here and he gets a jumper, like, and it's bro, he's wet, like it's money, you know. So like the new GM is here, like you were saying earlier before we started, the new GM, and I'm hoping he sees this talent and does not let Zach LaVine get frustrated and try to go join another team like James Harden.
Yeah,
That can
honestly.
easily happen, like you said
Yeah.
last week. That can
Yes.
easily happen. So I really
Yes.
hope that doesn't happen, bro.
Yeah. I pray it doesn't happen because honestly, the NBA is not like the NFL. These dudes have the power. If Zach gets frustrated to the point where he wants to get traded, y'all
Mhm.
might as well just start packing his bags because it's a wrap. It's like real talk. He's on. I mean, if he says he wants to be traded, there is going to be a line out the door to get him. Like the GM, his phone's going to be ringing off the hook. People are going to want him on their squad. Now, will the Bulls get some decent players back for him? Yeah, but they're not going to be Zach LaVine.
Right.
So it's like y'all need to figure out what y'all going to do. Like honestly, you know, I feel like what they doing this year is kind of like, oh, we going to like we wait and see. Let's see what we have with this current roster. You know, since it's a new regime, since we got here, see what we got, and then go from there next year. But it's like, will he still want to be here next year?
Right.
We'll see.
Right. That's true. It's gonna be incredible if you don't bring somebody now and he still wants to be here next year. And like he obviously has shown that he is loyal, because there's been many rumors that he's wanted to go, and he stayed for the last couple of seasons. Like
Yeah.
the last couple of seasons he's been linked to the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the only real rumor I've ever heard. But like you said, man, like keep this guy happy and bring somebody, because like that's the only shot you got.
Honestly.
Just to wrap this up, we said we were gonna save the best for last, so I wanted to show this clip about the Bears. Michael Vick, according to himself and other sources, like he's been a mentor to Deshaun Watson, you know, for a while. You know, they talk, they're cool, you know, like they're actually friendly to each other. So I just, you know, for the Bears fans that haven't had a chance to hear this from Michael Vick yet, I want y'all to hear it out. I wish I would have done a better job of cropping it, but just check this out.
I think, man, I'm gonna have a conversation with D. Watt later on today. We just spoke about it
Oh,
a few minutes ago, and we're gonna talk about it. Just in totality. But look, man, if I'm his agent, man, I'm pushing to get with the best team. I'm looking to get with the San Francisco 49ers or the Chicago Bears. Need some defense, need some weapons. If those teams are short of a quarterback,
okay.
So that was just released, I believe, today. This is fresh news. No, not today. I think maybe yesterday. So this is fresh news. This sounds good for the Bears. Like, not only have a lot of reporters and a lot of rumors pointed Deshaun Watson and the Bears linking together. So his mentor kind of putting a stamp on it, like, okay, these are the two teams that I think you should go to. They have good defenses. It honestly, for a second there, it looked like he wanted to say the Chicago Bears first before he said the 49ers, and then he changed his mind, said the 49ers first. But
Yeah.
either way, that's the only two teams that he mentioned. So, like we were saying right before we talked about the Bulls, they need to just whatever they need to do. If you need to give up Khalil Mack, give up Khalil Mack. If you need to give up Eddie Jackson, even my favorite defensive cornerback right now in the game, Kyle Fuller. If you have to give up Kyle Fuller, give up Kyle Fuller, because they're asking for 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and 2 defensive pieces. That's what they're looking around to get. 2 defensive pieces that start and they're young. So, like, no expenses spared for me.
I mean, same for me. Honestly, I don't care what you got to give up. If you can get Deshaun Watson, you need to get him. And it kind of be one of them situations where you get a second chance. Like, yeah, you don't get a second chance of likes, but you get a second chance for the Bears because they could have drafted Deshaun Watson in the same draft as Mitchell Trubisky, but they drafted Mitchell Trubisky. If you can get your second chance to get this dude, you have a second chance to get this dude. Do it because
Right.
we had this conversation. I don't remember if it was on the air or was it just me and you talking, but I remember thinking about how, and I'm trying to think, how we have had good defenses all these years. We had good special teams. We had decent offenses. We had good players, some good players on offense. We had some good players on defense. What we've always never had was a quarterback. Never had a top tier quarterback out of ever. Like ever. I don't want to hear nothing about no Sid Luckman. Stop talking about Sid Luckman. Okay?
Sid Luckman, I don't want to hear shit about Jim McMahon.
Yes. Don't want to hear nothing about none of them. Okay? We ain't never had no Hall of Fame type quarterback on this squad. I'm talking about like the freaking Green Bay Packers, Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, 2 in a row, Patrick Mahomes, dudes like that, Peyton Manning. We ain't had no dude like that on this squad. Deshaun Watson is a good young quarterback. Look at his numbers last year. We need something on our if we have him on our team with a good defense, that's a Super Bowl contender every year. Like, come on. Like, I don't care what you got to give up. Like, honestly, we need to get him on our squad. Like, real talk. Like, I'm sick of having all these pathetic offenses. You know what's the difference between all these good offenses and the bad offenses? They got good quarterbacks.
Facts.
Every last one of them have a good quarterback. When you got a mediocre offense, guess what? Your quarterback is mediocre. Like, all these years, we've never, like, I've been watching football for like 20 years. I cannot remember a time when our quarterback was like, oh, yeah, this dude gonna go out here and he gonna win it for us. Yeah, we had some good moments with Jay Cutler, but that was Jay Cutler. Like, yeah, exactly. So it's like, you know what? It's like he's not Deshaun Watson, and I'm just so pissed off by the fact that they about to part ways with Mitchell Trubisky. when they never should have got him in the first place, when they could already
Right.
had this dude.
We're talking
If
about probably easily a Super Bowl like appearance in
at
2018.
least, at least, at least if we had him. Just think about it. If they drafted him, because there was people talking about that's who they thought the Bears are going to draft. If they
Yeah,
drafted him instead of Mr. Trubisky, we're not even having this conversation right now. And it's ridiculous that we got to talk about this every single season. Honestly, like Bears, like y'all got to do better, man. It's like he's out. He does not want to be there. Do whatever you
right,
can. Approach the Texans and say, hey, I wouldn't even tell them what I'm offering you. Hey, what do you want? Whatever you want,
right.
y'all got it.
Exactly,
Just tell me what
exactly.
y'all want so we can get him here. That's
Right.
literally what I would tell them. Literally.
And it's not like it, and like why it makes sense. And there's a lot of fans out there talking about, oh, why give up all these future picks for this guy? Think about what you just said, EJ. You just put that perfect. We've never had not one close to a Hall of Fame legendary quarterback. The Packers have had two in the last couple of decades.
Yep.
With all that being said, who cares about the future draft picks? Because we don't pick right anyway.
Yeah, honestly.
So somebody else did. They picked correctly. So yes, they deserve for us to pay heavy
Yeah.
because we don't draft well anyway. So
Yeah.
those first rounds, those second rounds, they're gonna go to waste.
Yep.
Go
Yep.
and get this guy. Picks are just picks. That's all they are.
Yep.
Deshaun Watson
Yep.
is like, you've seen him on the field. You've seen what he got. Yes, he didn't do good against us. I was hoping that he was going to showcase what he really got against us and destroy us.
Yep.
But that didn't happen. But we also had a great defense, and he had a shitty offensive line.
Yep.
So go and get this guy. What, like you said, go over there with a blank checkbook. Don't even write your name yet. Just hand it to them and say, you put whatever you want on this. Write down what picks and what players you want. You want all 55? Here you go. Like, I'm serious though. Like at this point, because what you said, just for whatever reason, he hit me even more today. The fact that these Bears have been around so long and have never even had a close to a Hall of Fame quarterback. That doesn't even make any sense.
Yes.
When you're one of the charter franchises.
Yes.
Like they have to really sit back and think about that and evaluate themselves.
Yep.
They're already making mistakes by letting Ryan Pace pick the next quarterback and keeping Matt Nagy. Like,
Yeah.
so the only way to right this ship is, like you said, we need to go over there and get Watson no matter what he wants. And we're still gonna have a couple of pieces around him to be good and not be like, we're not gonna be 4 and 12 or whatever. You know, we're gonna be at a minimum with the pieces we have now. We can be a 9-7 and 10-6 team, easily make a playoff berth with what we have now and trading all that away. You know?
Yeah.
And then just hopefully building through the couple of picks that we have, and then bringing cheap guys via free agency. So there's still ways for the next couple of years for us not to be trash until we get our first rounds back.
Yes.
So I'm with you 100%, bro. Whatever you got to do, bring Watson.
Yeah. Because it's like, I'm so sick of having this conversation every single year, man. It's like, and he's young. So it's like, you can go out and get some of these other guys. Like, I know you were talking about Matt Ryan. Isn't he supposed to be a free agent this year? It's like Matt Ryan's been in the league for a while. So you can get him, but guess what? You still gonna need to have his understudy. You still need to draft the quarterback, because it's like he's not gonna be there forever. You gonna still need to worry about the future. Like, yeah, he might give you a few good seasons, but it's like, then what? So it's like with Deshaun Watson, you don't need to do that. He's still young. Like, he's still young. So it's like he can give you, like you said, like before we started the podcast, he can give you like 10 good years. So it's like, do whatever, Bears, do whatever you got to do, man. Like, honestly, 'cause it's like we don't have great defenses. We've had good defenses and we've had great defenses. Like Super Bowl defenses, but we've had mediocre offenses that don't help those Super Bowl defenses. So we
Not
can't.
even a little bit, because
Yes.
it's like you're saying we've had elite defenses, and then with those elite defenses, we got like top 25 offense,
Yep.
top 28. What
Yep.
the fuck are you gonna do with that? Nothing.
Exactly. You're not gonna win a Super Bowl with a mediocre offense like that. It's like your defense can only do so much, and it's like it gets old after a point. It's like the Bears, like you saying, like they waste so many draft picks. It's like who y'all drafted, man? Like who is this dude? Especially with Ryan Pace as our GM. It's like who the heck is this dude, man? Like what? You drafted him over him? Like what? But I'm not gonna let me stop right there. He has made a couple like okay, that guy was actually a sleeper. Didn't see him
Mhm.
coming. Like this year with Darnell Mooney, where he came out of nowhere.
Out of
That was a
nowhere.
good pick, like literally out of nowhere. So it's like okay, he hits every now and then, but it's literally every now and then. So it's like
Right.
it's not that often. So
Right.
it's
And it's always in the later rounds.
yeah, it's always in the later rounds. It's like, but he's horrible in the beginning rounds, like horrible. It's like look at
I think we still only have one player besides Mitch that we've kept after he's drafted him in the first couple of rounds.
yeah. So it's like you know, like you said with the draft picks, it's like who cares about the draft picks, man? Like at this point, it's like y'all just make the trade for Deshaun Watson. Like if they taking phone calls from y'all, like honest, if they accepting y'all phone calls, y'all need to come up with a package. Because honestly, Michael Vick mentioned San Francisco. San Francisco, I'm pretty sure they want to get him. I've
Right.
heard people talking about the Miami Dolphins. According to what I've heard, though, that they cool with Tua, but it's like, which one would I rather have? Would I rather have Deshaun Watson or would I have Tua? Deshaun
Right.
Watson or Tua? It's like that's a no-brainer. So
Right.
it's like, it's like they need to hop on that if they haven't already. Hopefully that's what's going on. We'll see. Because honestly, I feel like we probably are gonna start hearing some stuff like after the Super Bowl about like some of the players, just because the NFL it's kind of convenient how some of this stuff happens. I don't know if you ever noticed it, but like once the NFL season is over after the Super Bowl, the NBA like takes like hold like it's gonna have like all the attention for sports.
Right.
But then that's when the NFL starts like you start hearing stuff more about this. Oh, this dude signed with this dude. Oh, this blockbuster trade or this guy signed his contract because they want to stay they want to stay relevant in like
True.
the media. So it's like you're gonna start hearing stuff after the Super Bowl.
True.
So hopefully they get this done because it's like what else? Honestly, at this point, it's like who else y'all gonna go after? Like
And
really?
then I don't even trust anybody in the draft. Like unless you're
No.
going after Trevor Lawrence,
Yeah. Good
and
luck with that.
you know how I feel about Trevor Lawrence. We talked about that last week, I believe.
Yeah.
So I don't even think he's gonna be that great, to be honest. I mean, but we'll see. Like I'm not a hater. I wish him the best, but when I look at a quarterback, like I look for certain things, and like to me, he doesn't have the it. Like he might have the it factor in college, but to me, he doesn't have the it factor to make it and do well in the NFL. But we're gonna see. He's going to Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Nothing good rarely comes out of Jacksonville besides Allen Robinson.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens though, man. But I guess we'll wrap it up with some shout outs. Um hopefully within the next couple of weeks, like you said, we'll be talking about more blockbuster trades like that Matthew Stafford one. So
Mhm.
we'll see what's up with that. Um I want to shout out whoever is the one person viewing us right now. 'Cause you haven't commented, so I'm not sure who it is, but shout out you.
Yep. Yeah, let me shout out my wife for holding it down while we're on stream. Who else I want to shout out? Let me give you a late shout out to you. Your birthday passed recently, so let me give a shout out for you.
Appreciate
You be holding it down here too. So like, yeah, let me shout out you, man. You do a great job here, man.
it, man. Yeah, try to get our show to. I'm gonna start doing a little bit more. Right now, I'm in school, so it's like I be doing homework, I be working, and then because I be trying to get our show to look really, really smooth. So I'm gonna try to get back on it now that it's starting to like wind down a little bit with school and stuff. So, but yeah, shout out my wife as well. She over there taking care of our puppy right now. So we got a little dog, nice little dog. I'm not a very big dog person, but hey, it is what it is.
Hey, happy wife, happy life.
Exactly. Oh, here we go. We got the comment. Oh, what up, Josh?
Yo, what up?
That's who was watching us. Okay. Shout out Josh, man. Make sure you subscribe, bro. Next week we're gonna be talking more. Hopefully, we're gonna be talking about that Deshaun Watson trade that we already made. That's what I'm hoping we're gonna be talking about next week. But
Yeah.
hopefully these Bulls, they got a couple of games coming up. Hopefully they turn this losing streak around because they've been playing some good teams, and hopefully that's the reason why only they've been on this losing streak.
Yeah.
So we'll see we'll see what happens with them. And then we'll wrap it up like that, man. Thanks for tuning in.